Hey guys, just wanted to do my review of Legends of Tomorrow, Season 2, Episode 7, Invasion Part 3, the conclusion of the crossover. So, Thea's dropped off back in Star City, and everybody else gets back to the quote unquote Hall of Justice in Central City. And basically, to learn more about the Dominator's plan for their invasion, they decide that they need to interrogate one to learn more about the extent of their plans and why they're probably targeting metahumans. And so Cisco and Felicity go with Mick, Vixen, and Nate back to 1951 to apprehend one during their first attack. And when he's taking away humans, they use that as an opening to attack the Dominator, but then they're captured by government agents who turns out is the same government agent, a younger version of the same government agent, who I guess is called nicknamed Agent Smith, who Lila was talking to in the Flash part of the crossover. And Ollie, just being a dick, just tells Supergirl to step back from everything because he wants some of the normalcy back. And again, I get him being like traumatized by the encounter with the abduction, but it still makes him come across as kind of a dick. And I really would have appreciated if maybe she said, "Car, I need you to stand back in case we get ambushed by government agents or dominators or something like that." Cisco and Felicity are geeking out about the time travel and the Wave Rider. And they realize that their friends will get captured, they get weapons, and are able to go free them from the government's facility. They learn from the Dominator that they came to assess the metahuman threat to their kind. And Cisco convinces them that they need to let him go to prove that human beings can be good. And they give him the ship that they got from the Star City heroes used to escape in 2016 to help him get back to his mothership in 1951. And so the problem is that it made things worse because it turns out that he still feels like they've become a threat to. Now he's like, if human beings are this cruel to him without powers, just think of how cruel people are with superpowers. And so they realized that they made their threat to Earth worse by going back and changing the timeline. And Cisco has this epiphany, realizing that understanding what Barry did, and that he had good intentions but had negative results, and when basically the government agents show up to futilely try to capture Sarah, Oliver, Barry, and Ray, it turns out Agent Smith says that somehow inexplicably the Dominators know about Flashpoint, and they told the U.S. government, and it broke the truce between Earth and the Dominators, and they said that Barry needs to surrender himself, or else they'll destroy the planet. The other heroes convince him not to, with Cisco reconciling with Barry, and it turns out they have a metahuman bomb they're just planning on using to destroy all metahumans, with millions of people as collateral damage anyway. And there's also a thing where Martin Stein acts like kind of a dick and just continues to see his daughter as an aberration, and is talking with Caitlin, saying that he plans to erase her from existence once the threat of the Dominators is resolved. But Caitlin actually had brought her Lily Stein in because she has a degree in nanotechnology, but because she's Lily's getting frustrated that his dad is by Martin being so distant, that Caitlin convinces her to talk to Lily, and they find some common ground, and they realize that they can use like some nanotech to, inflict pain onto the Dominators and scare them off, and that results in, Sarah and Cisco having to take the Wave Rider to catch the metahuman bomb, but it's too heavy and it's pulling the ship down, so Firestorm has to go and transmute it into water in order to keep it from going off, and then the heroes go fight off the other Dominators on a rooftop, and Flash and Supergirl traveling around the world to attach all the nano devices to all these different Dominators, and eventually Green Arrow and after Supergirl saves Green Arrow's life, she gives Felicity the signal to set off the nanotech, which scares off the Dominators, and all the heroes are commended at a ceremony for their heroic efforts. And there's a kind of funny moment where like Mick goes up to walks past Kara and says, "Hey Skirt, call me," and she looks like visibly disturbed by that. And Oliver apologizes to Sarah, saying that hardship makes them stronger and how they're Earth's mightiest heroes. And Cisco also makes Kara a device that allows her to travel and communicate between Earth 1 and Earth 38, where she's from. And then everybody starts parting ways, and even though Diggle seems to be still mad at Barry, he just says he has to learn to forgive himself. And so Oliver and Sarah just says, it's crazy how things started with them, and they ever wondered what their lives would have been like if they ever got on the Queen's Gambit. And he said maybe the fantasy world was a gift to give them some perspective. And when Oliver suggests like what are they going to do to hang out that doesn't involve not saving the world, they actually go to a bar to get some beers, and they talk about how their alternate lives without having powers or responsibility was normal, but wasn't as fulfilling as the lives they have now, and they cheer to life being chaotic but fulfilling. And I like this episode because of how it kind of wraps up some storylines from previous episodes of Arrow and Flash, particularly finally reconciling the drama between Barry and Cisco, because Cisco was being kind of a dick and I was kind of getting sick of it, and I'm glad they're back in good terms. I think this was a nice way for Cisco to kind of put himself in Barry's shoes, and I liked how Martin got some character development in which, he grew to care for his daughter, and that basically, like, if it wasn't for her, they probably would have been able to figure out find a way to stop the Dominators. And I know people have complained this felt like why the Legends feeling like secondary characters on their own show, and the way I just looked at it the way Greg Berlanti pitched it, this whole crossover was like a 3-hour movie, and so I didn't mind the whole thing didn't end on the Legends taking off on another adventure. It was just more about Oliver and Barry hanging out and chilling out, and that's the way I looked at it, as like kind of a 2-hour movie. I still don't like Nate's suit. It looks really bulky, and I don't know. I think it's like one of the strongest parts, if not the strongest part of the crossover, just because of how much it wrapped things up, and it was more so action oriented, and I was able to juggle action and wrapping up story and whatnot. And it's something it's probably why I enjoyed this part of the crossover the most. But what do you guys think? What was your favorite part of the crossover? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. If you like this video, like, share, and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.